Good morning. Hamjambo. Nafikiri Mwanaisha nitamalizia hapo Kiswahili. Umetupea muktasari, haujatupea taarifa. Tunangoja taarifa. To begin with, honorable CS, we're happy to be here as a ministry, and we're happy to submit and also outline our ministry's plans and also our achievements, what we have done in the last 1 year. Honorable Minister, it is a very good practice that we can do this every year to be able to account not just to your ministry, but to the people of Kenya, what exactly we stand for, who are we, what are we set to do, why are we established as a ministry, and what are the challenges. We also want a forum to express ourselves and articulate issues that we think we are doing well and things that are challenging us, so for the good of all other people, so that as we now rally the country, we understand where we're coming from. So I think that is the gist of why we're here, and I would straight away take you through. I think, is that the procedure? Okay, before he makes that, before I will allow the minister. So briefly, that is why we're here. And maybe I speak in 1 minute about the ministry. The Ministry of Co-operatives and MSME is a ministry that anchors this administration of Kenya Kwanza. It's about bottom-up economic transformation agenda. When you break down to cooperatives, the cooperatives are about aggregation of members. We are a leading country in Africa, #1. As far as membership is concerned, we have over 14 million members in various cooperatives, whether in transport, housing, in investments, in savings and credit, in agriculture and production. We have 14 million Kenyans in those cooperatives. That positions us as #1 in Africa. And it also positions us as #7 in the world. So that's not a mean achievement. And we would like to protect that position by keeping on enhancing our capacity. And further, in terms of assets, we have over 1.5 trillion in assets of cooperatives. So in terms of savings, we are now doing 1.1 trillion savings. And that positions us, we have 30% of the national savings through the cooperatives. That is not also a mean achievement. And then in terms of loan book, we are now crossing over 1 trillion in terms of loans. So from that, from those numbers, it's clear that cooperative is a way of life in Kenya. Now, crossing over to, and further, we have products like coffee. If we had to do import substitution, we have to promote cash crops like coffee, like tea, and the rest. That can only be achieved by aggregating the farmers, organizing the markets, and supporting them. And you cannot talk about dairy sector in Kenya without talking about the cooperative. Now, crossing over to MSME. MSME, Kenya is an MSME republic. Over 85% of Kenyans are in small, medium enterprises. It is responsible for employment of over 85%. You are all aware that we have a population of 19 million employed in Kenya, out of which approximately 3 million are formally employed, and the rest, the 16 million, are informally employed. Now, MSME seeks to formalize, to reduce the informal jobs to formal jobs. And so our mission is to organize them into, register them, train them, build a capacity, facilitate them with funding, and also organize them into common markets. So that is the mission we have under the MSME. So from that outlook, Honorable CS, maybe I would request, having given you that outlook and the comments from my PSS and the heads of department, allow me to invite Madam Mercy Wanjau, Secretary to the Cabinet, and I want to appreciate her presence, and also Harriet for participating with us. And this will go further in even enriching our documents, Cabinet documents, when they know where we are coming from. Madam Mercy.
Thank you very much, Cabinet Secretary Simon Cherugui, Secretary to the Cabinet, Mercy Wanjau, Principal Secretaries for SME, Susan and Keremi for cooperatives, Principal Secretaries for Cabinet Affairs, Dr. Dakota, James Mohati from Planning, PS Veronica Duva, Performance and Delivery Management, and the Presidential Advisor on Women Rights, Harriet Ikonanga Chigai. And all ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me take this opportunity also to thank you, CS, and the team from SME and cooperatives. First of all, for the cooperation that you have shown ahead of this exercise. This exercise belongs to you and to all the ministries. It is your chance to put a mirror in front of yourselves so that that mirror can speak to you, and hopefully the story that the mirror will tell you is illuminating, and it can guide how you are going to approach the rest of the year. I do believe that already from the interaction that you've had on completing this template, I'm sure that already it is telling a story that you need to listen to. I'm sure you have taken cognizance of that. And since a lot of work has been happening, as a former member of parliament, mine today's, because you have done the responses, is what we call putting the question. So I just want to put the question. But the rest of it, I think you've interacted with. It would appear that CS, you prefer to guide us, and then we can be able to comment. Yes. The way we are doing these events, it is like that Indian thing called koroga. So you cook it your own way. Yeah. So we are giving ministries a chance to make their koroga. We don't have a recipe. We don't have rules. As long as something cannot kill you, please go ahead and cook it. We are going to join and to tag along. So thank you, Buenos Dias.
Morning all. Allow me to write on the protocols as already announced and say that today it's a great privilege to come to this ministry, because in this ministry the rubber meets the road for this administration, because the bulk of the Kenyan population plays out in the MSME space, the cooperatives, the medium and small enterprises. And success of this ministry will mean that actually the bottom-up economic transformation agenda has been achieved. Now, the reason why we embarked on this process was so that we would be able to achieve a baseline on the targets and commitments that we speak of, and a baseline that is imbued with the DNA of the Kenya Kwanza administration priorities. Then it becomes real. There have been priorities and targets set before, but they were set against different parameters. So once we do this exercise, this first time round, it will become easier as we move forward, because we will be measuring against something that is known, it was crafted, we measured it, and we will only now be looking at the progress as we move forward. I am a KPI owner. I'm interested in the cabinet decisions, because a lot of these priorities are anchored against anchored against cabinet decisions, and I'm therefore interested in the success of those decisions and seeing what the future looks like in terms of pending business. I'm also interested in e-citizen. I chair the e-citizen implementation committee, which is the presidential directive that we are closing on, and once more, achieving that closure and compliance in this sector will be a great achievement because the impact on the ground will be clear. So I look forward to this exercise. We come into this conversation to share experiences, to deliberate on the issues, identify the challenges with a view to unlocking them. The idea here is not to judge, so that as we go forward in this very critical year, we are actually going forward with a clear sense of what the road looks like ahead. Thank you.